What's up, Coug Connect subscribers? This is Jake Brandon here, your host of the Coug Connect podcast, back again for their episode. I'm going to be joined by Kevin and Craig this evening. You know them all very, very well. We're going to be breaking down the Week 3 matchups of the Big 12 and kind of previewing the Week 4 matchups. Week 4 is looking really, really good, but there's definitely things we need to discuss about Week 3, how those games went before we move on. Kev, I'm going to punt it over to you. I'm going to let you kind of take point on this, and Craig and I can add commentary here or there. Take us through Week 3 of the Big 12 play.
Okay. We're going to start with Kansas State versus Arizona, which they are part of the same conference, but this game was scheduled before Arizona joined the Big 12, so it does not count as a conference game. So just putting that out there. They are conference opponents, but this one didn't count as a conference game. But it was still a great game. Actually, I would say it was an okay game. It was pretty ugly, but Arizona got ahead early. They were up 17-3. Kansas State had a few miracle plays. But what really stood out was Arizona's Ismail Mahdi had 182 yards on the ground. He averaged like 9 yards a carry. So the biggest takeaway as BYU fans and as Big 12 fans is Arizona's offensive line looks legit and their defense looks good too.
The offensive line, they were able to run the ball really well against Kansas State defense, who at times played really well against Iowa State and other people, but at times has been shaky. But it's not, I think at the beginning of the year, Arizona is one of those teams where you're like, yeah, that's one we should win fairly easily. Now it looks like they have a rushing attack, and more importantly, and more unexpectedly to me, is they have a defense.
Yeah, 100%. And Craig, I don't remember his name. What's their safety or linebacker's name?
Genesis Smith.
Yeah, Genesis Smith is a baller. I mean, he's one of the best players on Arizona, and he'll probably be one of the best defenders in the Big 12. I mean, Craig and I were talking this morning that he's a guy that has the potential to be an all Big 12 type player.
Yeah.
And so, we kind of thought that Arizona was going to be at the bottom of the pack after struggling in their first year in the Pac-12, but as BYU fans know that it could take a season to get adjusted to playing in the Big 12. And so for teams like Arizona and another team that we'll get into in a second, it's not surprising that in their second year, especially Brent Brennan's second year where he's got more of his culture established, they're 3-0 right now. I think they're going bowling.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can pick off a few Big 12 contenders and hopefully not BYU, but hopefully they'll pick off some Big 12 contenders and make life easier for BYU going forward this season.
Yeah, it's always fun to cheer for other teams when that's the case, when they're going to make your job easier.
100%. And I would say after watching all the games, this year, I think leading up to Utah, I think Arizona in Tucson might be BYU's biggest challenge.
Yeah.
Before Utah.
And maybe that will be to our favor.
I think
to have a really solid test, maybe expose some things for us that we were unaware of, and then you're really sharpened up and ready to go for Utah. As long as you're not, overlooking them or anything, which I don't think Jay Hill or Kalani or A-Rod are in the business of overlooking anybody.
No.
So.
And I don't think so. I think they respect Fafita. I think, Fafita struggled last year, but I think he's still one of, if not, he's definitely one of the most talented quarterbacks in the Big 12. So,
yeah.
Arizona's better than we thought they were going to be this year, or at least better than I thought they were going to be this year. So, and then we'll get to our next surprise team, Houston. They beat Colorado pretty good. It was 16-14 at halftime. Colorado gave Houston a good second quarter, but other than that, Houston dominated this game from start to finish. Connor Wegman been around a lot of places, finally found a home in Houston. Was really good, 15 of 24 for 222 yards, but yeah, Houston looks good. I mean, I don't know if you've seen them play it all this year, but they look super impressive to me. I think if there's a team that was below 500 last year that can be a contender, I really think it's Houston.
I saw them beat up a team they were supposed to beat up week 1 or 2 or whenever their game was before this. But I'll go ahead and give myself some credit because going back to when we first started talking about Big 12 teams this year, I did say I thought Houston was a team who could be really good.
Yeah.
They had a great recruiting class a few years ago, very young last season, bring back a lot of those guys and bring in some other players to help out there. But the talent's there. And, when you're in Texas, there's also more talent at your fingertips all the time. So
yeah.
they could be the ASU or the BYU of last year. They really could.
I think so. And especially, they really turned a corner at some point during last season as well, where you saw signs that they were building towards something as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as surprising as maybe Arizona State was last season, but yeah, Houston's no slouch. They're definitely, maybe they don't contend for the Big 12 right away this year.
Right.
But like they're a program where it feels like as long as Willie Fritz is there, like they're going to be heard from in the Big 12 going forward.
Yeah, and I think, I don't know if they're going to contend this year, but I think they'll be in the conversation as the season goes on, and that's a huge improvement from last year,
100%.
right? Is to be like in that conversation, and who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and so those were the Friday night games. Big 12 plays a lot of games on Friday, which is nice because they get that national attention. Unfortunately, Colorado, if for the hype that they had coming into this year, which was definitely less from when they had Hunter and Shadur last season, they started their third string quarterback going into the season in this game because the transfer from Liberty and their 5-star that they have just haven't played very well. So it'll be interesting to see if Staub, their quarterback that started against Houston, is still the guy in a couple weeks when they play BYU.
You almost got to, if he's, and I can't remember what game it was it week 2 game?
Delaware, yeah.
Yeah. They found something with him. You almost have to just ride a guy and let him get the reps and let him get the experience and get some chemistry. If you turn into a carousel, but even if he struggles, man, I feel like you got to give him a good chunk of the first third of the season or something has got to be his.
Yeah, I think so. It's just so weird what, like, Colorado's a different program than any place else in the country. Dion runs a locker room, I feel like, very differently than most coaches. And so would I be surprised to see any of the 3 quarterbacks start against BYU? No. Do I kind of hope it's Staub from what I've seen? Yeah, 100%, because Salter at least showed flashes at Liberty.
Yeah, he did.
And, you can't. 5-star town is 5-star town. Whether that translates to being good in college, we'll see. But if they continue to play Staub, I think, Colorado is one of the teams that's looking at that it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, could be, man.
All right. Next game is Arizona State, Texas State. Arizona State coming off the loss to Mississippi State. Leavitt needed to have a better game. He was 15 of 25 for 188 yards, had 2 touchdown passes. Jordan Tyson continues to make spectacular plays. Raleek Brown had 12 carries for 144 yards. So they are replacing Cam Scatteraboo.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're finding the backs in the backfield to where, no, they don't have a single guy that can do what Scatteraboo did, but they have a running back room that's run the football really well the last 2 weeks. So, and I think they're trending in the right direction, but we'll get to them in a minute.
Dude, I'm a little worried about their defense, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know NAU scored points on them. I know Texas State scored some kind of later, but like,
yeah,
I don't know, man. We'll see. And it's still early, like we said, but
yeah. Well, their defense is going to get tested this weekend.
Yes, it will.
And then Iowa State, who is 4-0, one of the few 4-0 teams in the country. Only beat Arkansas State 24-16.
And that game was close for a while.
Yeah. Well, I believe it was 17-16 in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
And, that was during Tennessee, Georgia, and a couple other games. So I didn't have a ton of eyeballs on that game but from everything I've read, it sounded like Arkansas State kind of got hosed.
Yeah. In the Discord, because I didn't get to watch that game, there was a lot of people in the college football channel, the Coot Connect Discord, saying that they quote unquote got jobbed by the refs.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and watch that one and see what they mean by that. But that was the talk.
Yeah. But, Iowa State's right now, they're one of the highest ranked, I believe the highest ranked Big 12 team.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And, for them to struggle with Arkansas State, is a little alarming.
If you're BYU, though, it kind of feels like there's opportunities.
It does feel like there's opportunities, but one of the storylines to watch this season is a second Big 12 team able to get into the playoff.
Yeah.
And, performances from these, and it's only September. So, I mean, Oregon barely beat Idaho last year by like 14 or something crazy.
Yeah.
And ended up winning, having an undefeated regular season. So these games do happen, but it does kind of make you, it will hurt the Big 12's brand overall if the top teams are struggling against some not great competition.
The best case scenario is a combination of Iowa State, TCU, BYU, maybe Utah, or so. They all are either undefeated or have one loss.
Yes.
Right? Like that's the best case for the Big 12. Then it's really hard to keep. If you're Iowa State and your only loss is to BYU,
Yes.
or if you're BYU, vice versa, TCU, whoever.
Parity is awesome to watch, but when it comes to getting multiple teams in the playoff,
it's not your friend.
Which is important for the Big 12,
and the future of college football.
Right. Yeah. If the Big 12 wants to get taken seriously as a big boy in college football, like they're gonna have to. I feel like get some dominant.
If they get two teams in and they advance,
yes,
and then the ACC crumbles,
yeah,
that all matters.
Yes, it feels like a race for third right now.
It
to
does.
Be the third best conference, and the ACC does have Miami and Clemson and Florida State, which are all bigger brands than
and SMU.
Haha. Well, rewind before the death penalty.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah.
But they do have the bigger brands right now. But as a top to bottom, I think the Big 12 is definitely better. But you do have to have your top teams playing in those games.
And Miami might end up being really good.
Yeah. Shout out Keelan.
Our guy Keelan out there making plays. Keelan, thanks a lot, dude. Just break my heart. How many times you come here and eat my food and then just break my heart, man? It's terrible.
Beaches in Miami might be better than your steaks by maybe a little bit.
He might have had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of reasons to go to.
Can't blame him for getting that money. Anyway,
still love you, Keelan.
Speaking of another team that struggled with subpar opponent, Utah.
What? No. Stop.
Devin Dampier?
No way.
I thought he was the best quarterback in the Big 12.
That's the best offensive line in America, Kevin.
I can't dispute that, but it did not look that way for a half of football in Laramie. Now, to be fair,
they had to go to Laramie.
They had to play in Laramie, and if you've heard Trey Alexander talk about Laramie, you know that you're not coming out very juiced to play in that stadium. They probably were out camping the night before.
Just like BYU was.
I mean, Coach Whittingham probably rode his motorcycle to Laramie.
Yeah.
So it's no surprise that a team would come out flat in Laramie. BYU kind of came out flat last year. It was a little higher scoring game, but the vibes were the same. Where it's like, why are we in a game against Laramie? And then in the second half, BYU took care of business. Utah did the same
thing.
Took care of business, but Devin Dampier was running around like undisciplined in the pocket, throwing balls up for grabs that could have really come back to bite them against a better opponent.
I was driving home from Vegas, so I did not get to watch this game. I did, however, when I hit to get some charging done and some things done driving home from Vegas, followed up on Twitter, followed up on the Coug Connect Discord, and there were people saying, Utah fans kind of bemoaning how the first half went and saying, why is he running 20 yards backwards? Why are we missing field goals? Why can't we establish, the run better in the red zone? All these things. And I haven't gone to watch it. I may go watch it tonight just for curiosity's sake. But the combination of them struggling early on, which, like we said, to a degree, that's understandable, considering the same thing happened at BYU. Same thing happened to Texas Tech. Yeah. Texas Tech lost there, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, so okay, Utah, we'll give you a little bit of a pass here. But the combination of that kind of head-scratching start and UCLA and how things have gone from UCLA. And I know Utah fans will be like, well, we broke UCLA. It's like, maybe that's true. I don't know.
I think they were broken years ago. Okay, but that's too much talk about Utah for my cup of tea. So we'll move on to some more boring games. Baylor beats Samford 42-7. Texas Tech beat Oregon State, who used to be good, 45-14. But right now, the headlines in Corvallis are, is the coach the right man for the job? That's what they're asking him. There was a hit piece done, column on him. And so things are just real bad in Oregon State for Oregon State right now. And no surprise that Texas Tech was up 38-0 after 3 quarters. So we'll move on to that game. From that game, then Northwestern State, mighty Northwestern State, scored 0 points and let Cincinnati score 70.
Just got away from them.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
They were pretty close, but
Probably could have scored like 200 on them.
yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of name your score games, but those are going away soon because it's basically Big 12 games the rest of the way after this weekend.
Yep.
So get excited about that. These recap shows will become a lot more interesting, I promise.
Yes, for sure.
And we'll actually watch the games instead of watching TCU blow out Bemidji State. But TCU did play Abilene Christian and won 42-21. But 21's a lot of points to give up to Abilene Christian.
And Sonny does kind of have a reputation of only focusing on offense or only caring about offense, maybe not giving as much attention to special teams and defense. So, I mean, we'll see. I think that is the most electric offense we've got and probably the best team to go make noise in the postseason if they were able to reach the postseason, hopefully alongside of BYU. But just because they have a lot of firepower, and Sonny Dykes is, I think, one of the best offensive coordinators in the country. So there's a team to watch, but is defense going to be better? Because up to this point, kind of looked like it was. Now I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, as a fan of watching Big 12 teams, I love it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
But if he was my head coach, having bad defense would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
So very grateful that Kalani values all three sides of the ball very equally at BYU. And so the last game that we'll cover was West Virginia, Pittsburgh. So this game
Is that a significant game, Kevin?
Oh, I think that they just hate each other just as much as, if not more, than BYU and Utah fans. I think it's
definitely comparable.
Oh my gosh, those rednecks in West Virginia, the only time they brush their teeth and kiss their wives is after they beat Pittsburgh. So, but this game was crazy. So Pittsburgh looked like they had it completely under control. They were up 24-14 late in the fourth quarter, like halfway through the fourth quarter. You know, it was like, man, Rich Rod, the story's good, but he's just not going to get it done this season. And then something came to life, and they got the field goal, they got the late touchdown, and then they won in overtime. It was just one of those days where the rivalry just takes over. And, you know, we've seen it for BYU and Utah, Alabama, Auburn.
Yep.
Like, doesn't matter what rivalry, you toss the records out, and the craziest stuff happens.
Yep.
So
BYU's been up big late in that one and lost it. And Utah looks like they've had it all locked up, and last minute field goal, you know, beats them. Like it's just a different kind of game.
yeah. And I don't think the West Virginia is still that good. I mean, that was just a miracle.
Yeah.
I feel like just Rich Rod coming back and the story was too good that the football gods, you know, decided to shine a little light on West Virginia and let them have their moment. But
Do you think Rich Rod's a lifer, man? I kind of think like that guy will probably pass away on the football field.
yeah, I think so. I think there's guys that do it for money, and I think
Yeah.
there's guys that are just addicted to coaching. And you know, we talked about it last week, but Rich Rod, he didn't take his paycheck and go home and sit on a beach and drink margaritas. He was at Jacksonville State coaching.
Right.
And so, you know, just gotta love a guy who
Loves it.
who loves coaching ball.
Yeah. Okay, is that all of our week 3 games? I think it is, right?
That is all of our week 3 games, and now we'll get to
week 4.
I think it's going to be a banner week for the Big 12. We have Big Noon in Salt Lake
City.
but we can cheer for Texas Tech. I think that's
Yeah.
100% okay. BYU fans, I don't go to the games and wear your BYU shirts
Right.
because everyone hates the Utah guys that do that in Provo. So don't do that. But if you do end up going to the game because I love college football.
Right.
If it wasn't Utah, I might go to that game.
Yeah.
And so, if you are at the game or you're walking around, make sure to say go Raiders. Go
That's right.
Raiders. So, but
Guns up.
fun. That'll be fun. And then we do have North Carolina UCF is on Fox at 1:30.
We'll
And we also
learn a
have-
lot about Coach Belichick then.
Yeah, and we have Arizona State Baylor on Fox at 5:30.
That should be a great game.
Yeah. So, and all three are on Fox, like 3 national TV games back to back to back for the Big 12 this week. It's a big week for the Big 12 to show out and really show the country that it's we know it's one of the best conferences in America, but that it's the most entertaining conference in America.
We will learn a lot about Arizona State's defense against Baylor.
Yeah, let's start with that. Baylor, Arizona State.
And I think we'll learn a little bit. I mean, not that Baylor's had great defense, but I don't think that Leavitt has had a test like that yet.
Yeah.
Without, Scadaboo and the new O-line, and he's still got Tyson like we talked about. So that's for me one of the most interesting games.
Yeah, and Sawyer Robertson and Sam Leavitt were honestly like the 2 quarterbacks coming into Big 12 play where everyone's like, we know they're going to be good.
Right.
And, Leavitt has underperformed, and Sawyer Robertson has been, in my opinion, a Heisman Trophy level quarterback. So,
dude, I was there when they rolled him out, man.
Yeah.
And I was I was obviously sitting by a lot of Baylor fans, but sitting by some Baylor fans who are super cool. I was like, this is a new quarterback, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, what grade is he? Is this young guy? They're like, I think he's a junior. So he had just been like kicking it at Baylor, and now he's balling.
yeah, he's lighting up scoreboards, the SMU game. Crazy.
Yeah.
He played really well against Auburn. They gave up a kick return for a touchdown, and just by the time they got things figured out on offense, Auburn was just too far out of reach and too good at running the football to ever let Baylor get back in the game. But he's been balling this season, and we're gonna see if Baylor's defense is good, and they've just been playing some of the best teams in the country like SMU and Auburn, or if that defense is a problem. So,
yeah, a really good run team, and Rhett Lashley's a really good offensive coordinator at SMU too. So
yeah.
So yeah, we'll learn a lot about both those teams. So that'd be a really good one.
Mm-hmm. BYU plays at 5:30 at East Carolina. We got, I think, BYU's first real test this season. East Carolina's 2-1.
They're significantly better than Stanford or Portland State, obviously. So I we'll see how much better, but I think they are significantly better than those two teams.
Yeah, I think so. And then plus just adding on the travel aspect, I know last season BYU kind of put that to bed when they went to UCF. And,
Yeah. The East Coast.
But it's hard to throw away 40 years of history of losing those games.
Dude, I'll tell you, those
on the East Coast.
The whole sports science training side is so much more dialed in now than it ever was, especially at BYU, but anywhere. So, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I think it's a lot less likely to happen now. I think they'll adjust practice schedules and bedtimes and curfews, all that to help them be as ready as you can be. And, was it Bruce who was on here?
Yeah.
And he's like, I was still tired. Like, I was still there, like, but they do as much as you can to make it right.
Yeah.
So,
and, a 5:30 game for BYU, it's not like they're playing super late or super early.
Yeah.
Like some of the early games can be when you play on the East Coast. So they have that going for them. East Carolina's been talking trash.
Oh my gosh.
Who knows why, but at least, sometimes you worry about coming out flat against East Carolina's not a sexy brand, but the way they've been talking, there's no way that BYU is going to let any of the stuff that they've been saying fly. So
yeah, Trey feels like they've opened the door for Trey to say whatever he wants.
And that's a dangerous thing to
do. He just needs an inch. You just got to give him an inch.
Yeah, and he will take it all the way.
Here's from what I've watched of East Carolina, which was mostly week 1 or whenever they played NC State, week 1, week 0, whenever that was. Their passing team, number 10 is basically their Parker Kingston, speedy slot. Number 9 is their bigger tight end, probably bigger than even like a Carson Ryan. He's kind of a bulkier tight end. They like to throw to him. They did include 6 a little bit in the passing attack that I saw. They didn't have a ton of run going on, and they did try and establish it early at NC State, and then it seems like they just kind of threw it out the window and went passing the ball. They have a good quarterback. I talked to some players yesterday on the offensive side of the ball, and they said they are a little bit undersized on defense, but very athletic. He says they're very fast, they're very athletic, and you have to take them seriously because their speed can erase mistakes. Like they can recover and come back, and they rally to the ball well. So I do think it's a much better test for BYU than Stanford or Portland State was. Although Stanford, first place in in their conference right now.
In the ACC, baby.
1-0 in the ACC.
Better than Dabo.
That's right. That's
Better than
right.
Dabo right now. So,
No, I think Stanford will win a couple more games. I mean, it's a different brand of football than a lot of people are playing in the ACC, and sometimes that's to your advantage. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think BYU, if they're the team that we believe that they are, they should go into East Carolina. It'll probably be the first time that a team gets more than 150 yards against BYU's defense. I'm not expecting them to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
But
they have weapons though.
Yeah,
and a good quarterback.
Weapons. I'm excited to see what BYU's offense is going to look like. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. Hopefully, Bear's more dialed in, and we can see him spin it a little bit. Do you have any like breakout candidates that you kind of have your eye on going into this one?
Look, I think, and I'm going to stick by what I said all the way back the very beginning of fall camp, is this is a much better rushing football team than we were the year before. And we weren't bad the year before. We won 11 games. We ran the ball just fine. LJ's healthy, fully healthy. Sione is fully healthy. Enoch is healthy.
Yep.
Jovessa and Preston Rex have kind of like burst onto the scene unexpected from anybody. A lot of people were worried about like, Pokai, he's not on the team anymore. But really, no one's talking about that right now because Jovessa and them have played really well. So I think you've got 5 really good backs. I mean, I haven't even talked about Lucky, who looked good against Portland State, and Charlie. You've got good backs, and then the O-line. And then maybe you could say, you haven't been going against this, other. Even against a full box against Stanford, they were moving the line of scrimmage. And so if I had to pick a breakout candidate, if they let LJ do some more work, but hey, I'm all about spreading that load, and let's let LJ do work in the middle of the season or the end of the season.
Save his legs.
Yeah, like this is a marathon. But I think we're going to run the ball really well. I still believe that TJ Woods, year 2 of his system, we're going to see that. Now, Nakua is a guy to watch.
Okay.
JoJo's out for a while. Chase is always good. I still think the most chemistry I've seen with Bear is Carson Ryan.
I think so.
And I think he's the most comfortable just trusting it. Like, hey, I'll throw to Carson. He'll make the catch.
Yeah.
So you could see Carson Ryan break out. You could see Nakua have a breakout. But I really think they're going to be able to run the ball.
Yeah.
And so if I had to pick a guy on offense, I would probably pick LJ or Sione. Maybe they let Sione work, really take the load.
I love it. I hope so. If they're running the football, maybe it's not as high scoring of a game, and BYU just is ball control.
If you win a game if you go to ECU and you win 28-0 or 28-3, are you happy?
Oh, yeah. Are you?
I'm happy. And everyone's healthy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a ugly game, but you're scoring touchdowns in the red zone. You're methodically moving the ball. Yeah. Great. Like I said, I'm focused on the marathon. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. If it's a 7-point spread, so
it's closer than that, for what they're saying.
I think BYU should go in and win by double digits. That's the type of team that they have, and I like East Carolina is a good football team, but they're not a Power 4 level team. So I think BYU should go in there, dominate. Whether or not East Carolina gets a garbage time touchdown at the end to make it look a little bit closer.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Are you happy 28-10?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're happy 28-14?
It kind of
depends on when
situation.
Those are scored.
Yeah, like if BYU's up like 21-14 in the fourth quarter and they have to like seal it in the last, then
that's different.
It's different than being up 28-7 and we got the 2s and the 3s in.
Yeah,
and they carve us up because we're playing prevent defense. it's different with every game, but a game where we're comfortably ahead in the fourth quarter and just don't completely blow it is what I'm looking for.
Trey Alexander the third, first interception this week. What do you guys think?
I think so. I think
so too.
I think that they're going to throw it a lot. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. He's going to be out there playing against their receivers.
I think they're going to think they can test him too.
Yeah.
Evans got multiple years of tape. Maury's got multiple years of tape. And Trey has started last week, but doesn't have as much tape as those guys. I think they might think like, oh, that's a guy we test. And they might like learn pretty early on. Like that's not a kid you test.
Yeah.
So Craig?
Yeah, Trey's another breakout candidate for sure.
If I pick Sione on my offensive side,
yeah,
Trey might be one you pick on the defensive side.
I think so.
Also, you unleashed Kirkland.
Oh,
It seems like he's going to be able to play. I don't know how much. I don't know. Maybe not at all, but I think he's going to play.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Kirkland's not going to have stats.
Yeah.
But it's
the difference he'll make.
It's the impact. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he'll have stats, but what he's going to be doing is just making life miserable for the center and the guards. So, Trey, let's do that. I'll say Sione, and I pick Trey for my defensive guy. Do you guys have people you'd pick for this one?
I'll take Justin. I mean, it's easy to watch the quarterback, but if just watch every time Justin Kirkland comes in the game. Look at what the offensive line has to do when he's in there.
The players are saying now they've seen him in pads.
Yeah,
and they're like, he's huge in pads. He looks big without pads. We've had him in here multiple times, but you throw shoulder pads and a helmet on that guy.
Offensively, I'll go with Parker to have a breakout game. I'm assuming they'll have something tricky.
Yeah.
Schemed up for Parker to, maybe he's throwing, maybe he's catching. I assume he'll be involved in some trick play. And I'm hoping that he can take a screen pass and do something nasty with it. So
right.
I'll say he has an explosive on a trick play and he has an explosive on a screen play. So
okay. Perfect. Craig?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up Nakua. We heard Trey talk about him a lot just a little bit ago, and really a young guy I haven't seen him play, but when you're a Nakua, like really just that expectation.
We haven't seen a Nakua not get it done at BYU.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More like 4 for 4 or something like that. Like,
so Kai, Samson, Puka.
There's the oldest brother though. I'm forgetting his name. There's an older one too than Kai, even I think. Right?
I don't. That might be before I can remember. But yeah, Tay's gotta seal the deal.
Yeah, finish
put
strong.
A bow on the Nakua legacy and be the next great BYU receiver that dominates Utah.
Yeah,
that's important. Beating Utah's important, especially to that family.
Yeah,
and just scoring touchdowns and just doing freak athlete type stuff.
Yeah, I think we talked about with Trey, like there's not a lot of guys who talk on offense except for the old linemen. Bruce, Waylon, and Jada will talk.
Yeah.
Tay's a kid who's not afraid to talk. We'll see if he does. I don't know. I don't
know if he's out there
jawing like Samson and Puka.
Trying to jaw like Samson but he's the youngest brother. He's gotten all of it his entire life.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm sure he's learned to definitely take it, but also give it back.
Yeah.
When that's necessary as
Craig,
well.
you know what that's like?
Oh, absolutely.
Youngest brother. How many brothers you got, Craig?
4 older brothers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. My youngest brother is definitely the saltiest one out of the 3 of us too. So
yeah, my brother and friend call it youngest child syndrome.
Well, here's the thing: when you're the younger kid, at least in my family growing up, you want to go play with your older brothers. Like you want to go play basketball or you want to go play football in the backyard with them, but you're younger, but you want to hang. So you go and you're at an extreme disadvantage because you're younger, and we're not going to play soft for you.
No,
like you're the one bugging us to play.
Yeah.
So you learn to hang and you learn to deal with it and like kind of pick it up more than I did as the oldest. Like I was. So
being a younger brother is tough, and you're basically forced to learn toughness at
Yep.
an early age.
Yeah.
And, there's no D1 athletes in our family. And so when all your older brothers are D1 athletes, I think, and you,
Hey,
and
I'm the
your-
oldest brother. I'm the only one who didn't play college football.
yeah.
So,
and
oops.
when your older brother is getting it done in the NFL, like number one fantasy receiver type stuff,
Yeah.
one of the best receivers in the league, that's
The best players in the league.
a lot of pressure to live up to, and Tay doesn't have to do that, but Tay's definitely seen it, knows how to do it, and hopefully he can go out and show us this season that he's just gonna keep following the family trend. So
Perfect. Craig,
Right.
was there an older brother than Kai, or am I making
Looks
things up?
like Kenneth.
Is that who it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
What position
trying
did
to-
he play?
I'm trying to figure it out.
I think there was an older brother, and I might be.
Defensive back.
Yeah, I know he wasn't a receiver like the other three.
Yeah,
The three.
defensive back. Oh
Younger
wait,
one.
no, it's talking about Kai.
Kai,
right there.
was he a D lineman? He was a different position than receiver. That's all I remember. But I thought there was an older brother who was at BYU for a minute.
Yeah.
Kind of started us all off. But okay, that's great. We'll see. We'll come back and we'll see. Is it Sione and Trey? Is it Parker and Justin? Is it Tay? And did you pick a defensive guy? Did I forget already?
I don't think I did.
Who's
No.
your defensive guy? Who do you think we need to watch?
Hmm,
Breakout game from.
I don't know.
It's a lot of good choices.
Yeah. I know, like our boy Tommy.
Yeah,
He's
and they've
been
been
getting
playing
some
him
good
a
reps.
lot.
Yeah.
Been playing a lot at that nickel, and I thought he's been playing well, honestly.
yeah,
And
I
he's
think
going to be
that's another-
tested.
I was gonna say they're gonna test him
Yeah.
with some of their speedy slot guys.
Yeah, he'll have to cover 10 for sure, and 10's good. I don't know what 10's name is, but he's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Craig.
So just to go back, clear
Please.
up there about the Nakua thing. So Kenneth is Kai. That's Kai.
Okay.
That's one of his names. But it looks like Isaiah Nakua.
That's who it was. And what
Yes.
position did he play? It was Isaiah.
Defensive end.
Defensive end.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a D-line position.
Okay.
Yeah.
He started it off, so we don't want to forget
Okay,
Isaiah.
yeah. Can't forget Isaiah.
I knew, and we kind of did. But
I was.
we
I
reeled it
think-
back.
I don't even know if I would. I don't even know if I knew half the players on BYU's team when he was playing. So
Well, you were probably in my junior high Spanish class back then. So
yeah,
yeah,
probably younger than that.
probably younger than that.
All right. Anything else from East Carolina BYU?
No, we'll learn a lot, and it'll be good. And I think we're going to live up to the expectations. It will beat the spread.
Okay. Next game, big noon. We have Utah
Oh.
versus Texas Tech.
Oh,
As objectively, this is by far the most interesting matchup in the Big 12.
mm-hmm.
You have Utah, who's played UCLA, which stands for underwhelming, crappy, loser association. Yeah. And then they struggled against Wyoming, beat a cupcake. Texas Tech has played nothing but cupcakes. So,
Yeah, and they've handled them all, but again,
yeah.
like you're supposed to handle those all, whether
Mhm.
you're a lead or not. I still believe Texas Tech is going to be good because part of their whole rebuild was in the trenches, and
Yes.
long term, especially against a team like Utah, who's going to be very physical. They're going to try and run the ball, and they're also going to try and stop you from running the ball.
Yeah.
Traditionally, the way to beat Utah is to get over top. They're going to play cover one. They're going to play cover zero. They're going to press man it aggressively, cover one. And if you can get behind it, there's nothing but green grass behind you. There's one safety in green grass. If you can get your four verts game going, or even take calculated shots away backside of trips with your X receiver, that's a good formula to beat that defense. And Texas Tech has receivers. Morton has been really good.
11 touchdowns, 1 interception. So
Really
far this
good.
season.
Again, against bad teams, but I'm hoping Tech can do it, man. I want them to do it really, really bad. And I've always, since Leach was there too, I've kind of been like a low-key Tech fan. So
Yeah.
as much as it is Utah, I always kind of still like the brand of football out of Texas Tech.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, we'll see if they get anything from Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be there, but maybe he can sprinkle some Patrick Mahomes magic on Texas Tech for that game. But Morton's good. Morton's been there forever.
Yeah.
At some point, if you're going to play college football for as long as he has, you're going to be good. Haven't really watched a whole lot of Texas Tech just because by the time I turn it on, they're already up 20.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to learn a lot about both teams.
Tavion was on here, and I
Yeah.
think it was Tavion was saying that supposedly they have 3 of the top wide receivers in the country.
Okay.
It was according to Tavion. I don't know where he got his information,
Yeah.
but I do think they have a good wide receiver core. So it's going to be a good test for Utah. And, they might be physical enough to make Utah throw the ball. If they
Yeah.
can load it up and make Utah beat them with intermediate to deep passes, like that could be an interesting game. Could also be ugly. Utah could come out and play defense and run the ball and just make it a very ugly game too and win, which
Yeah.
Utah kind of does that a lot.
Yeah, they do. And so, this was as prognosticators, not us, but national and local Big 12 media, they've kind of pegged this game as like one of the games between two teams that could potentially play each other again in the Big 12 championship. So if this is a preview for that, it'll be really interesting to see both teams. I personally think that Texas Tech is going to come away with the dub on this one.
Yeah.
Utah's not a fully formed version of themselves yet.
Look,
hopefully they never are.
Yeah. They never recover. Look, they lost a lot of players to the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And they added them with good players, but I just don't know that their roster is a net positive, better roster than they had last year. Right. And great, they were 5-7 last year. They lost a lot of close games last year, and they lost Cam Rising.
And they upgraded at quarterback from
Isaac, who was thrown to the wolves as a freshman.
Yes.
Not his fault.
Yes,
was never the game plan for Isaac.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Isaac will still probably end up being a very good quarterback, whether it's at Utah or somewhere else.
Right.
I still believe if he gets his confidence back and gets the reps he needs and gets the coaching he needs, he has all the tools to be a very good quarterback.
For sure. Yeah.
But he was in a terrible situation last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And obviously the offensive coordinator got fired and they had to bring in a new offensive staff. And so we like Jason Beck. Jason Beck's been a good coordinator and coach at Virginia.
Syracuse.
He did great at Syracuse, was good at New Mexico. So he knows offense. We'll see if that eventually translates. But I just think, after watching Utah struggle against Wyoming, is it possible they were playing possum and holding everything back for this game? It's possible. Whittingham's definitely done that before.
Yeah.
But I just think that...
Or maybe they just did not care to play in Laramie.
Exactly.
Whether it was strategic or just, why are we playing a game in Laramie?
100%.
That totally is possible too.
Yeah.
But we'll learn a lot about both teams on Saturday, hopefully.
Yes. I just think Texas Tech is more fully formed as a team. They did bring in a lot of transfers.
A lot.
Coaching staff has stayed together. The culture's been there. Obviously, Whittingham's been at Utah forever.
But it's a new coordinator on offense.
Yeah.
It's a whole new deal over there.
So it's a whole new system. So I think Texas Tech, they have the quarterback that's been there forever. The leadership in the locker room is there. And so I think that they're probably just a better team right now.
I think there's just a net positive roster for Texas Tech last year and a net not quite as good roster besides quarterback at Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And Whittingham's a great coach, but there's also established and great coaching there. So we don't know anything yet, but if you had to pick a pick, I think you have to go with who did better in the offseason, and I think that's Texas Tech.
Yes, so. I agree. And then also going on at the same time on Saturday is going to be SMU TCU.
Yeah.
10 a.m. If you need anything to wake yourself up, you just turn that game. Have Utah, Texas Tech on the big screen. Pull out your iPad or your laptop or your phone, and you just keep an eye on SMU TCU, because every time you look down, you'll probably see an explosive. You'll probably see someone dancing in the end zone. It's going to be insane. Hoover versus Jennings is like made for TV. So I'm super excited.
And we all know Sonny wants to win, a 48-45 matchup or something. Like that's what Sonny's there for.
Yeah.
Just put up 52 and he'll be happy.
Yeah, he has the needle all the way full of offense. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that he injects into football other than offense. It's going to be super awesome. I'm excited for that one. That's probably, it's not the sexy game, but you're a sicko college football fan or you just like watching offense,
You tune into that game.
yeah, you have to watch that game. Like if you watched Arkansas Ole Miss at all this week, where it was just 20-yard play, and they were just going back and forth, like that's gonna be the same type of game. Baylor SMU, same type of game. Like just set the over at 100. I'm not saying you have to gamble, but just lay money on the over and just root for as many points as you can. That's the best way to watch that game.
So right now, the total is 64.5. Take the over on that.
I mean, SMU Baylor.
TCU's a 6.5 point favorite. Total is 64.5.
It was
That's still really high.
Wait, what was the total again?
64.5.
Okay, so
Utah's total is 58.5. For Utah, they're not.
Wow.
I don't. Vegas knows their stuff. Obviously, they stay in business.
Wow. Yeah. 58 total. That's high. SMU
Yeah.
TCU. I think that total's kind of low because TCU played Abilene Christian and won 42-21.
Yeah.
That's 63 right there.
Well, they put up 40 plus on North Carolina also, right?
Yeah. So
that's what they do.
and I don't think they're gonna stop SMU. I think TCU is gonna win.
Yeah,
So
I
I think
too.
SMU's scoring at least 28.
Yeah.
So
Hit the over.
I
Or don't gamble and save your money and your soul.
save your money, gamble on crypto instead.
It's a much. Go Google Bitcoin halving cycles and learn how to gamble responsibly in crypto.
Yes. Yeah. There's different ways to make money. But yeah, SMU TCU, it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully the offenses both deliver and you can't turn the game off.
Yeah.
The next game, another game on Fox, UCF North Carolina. North Carolina got blitzed by TCU game 1. They've played Charlotte. That was very meh. And then they played FCS team last week and handled them kind of okay, but it wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
UCF was not very impressive in either of their wins against bad teams. So
They are picked UCF 6.5 point favorite.
wow.
So, and the total
Wow.
there is 46.5. So I think they're expecting North Carolina to score very few points and UCF to score a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
Honestly, I have no analysis on this game other than yikes for,
we just need UCF to rep the conference,
exactly. Yes, we're always cheering for Big 12 teams, even if it's against North Carolina. Got to cheer for the Big 12. Okay. Now, one of the first in-conference matchups that we have, West Virginia, Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas is a 13.5 point favorite. I think they got a lot of offense.
Yeah.
56.5 total. That's what it's saying. West Virginia, I do think they kind of got a little bit lucky or just gutted one out against Pitt, and I think there's also going to be a little bit of an emotional hangover
I
too.
think so.
I think Kansas wins this one comfortably.
I think so too. Kansas, Jaden Daniels has a lot to prove this season. I think, Leipold's one of the best coaches in the country that maybe not everyone knows.
It doesn't talk about him.
Yeah, but they'll be ready to go. They didn't play great versus Missouri. I expect them to want to bounce back and get off to a good start.
And they should on that game.
Yeah. And then the last game is Wyoming, Colorado.
Dude.
8:15 in Boulder. I don't think there's going to be the celebrities are going to be out to see Wyoming.
Probably not.
And
They'll save it for BYU next week.
If you're looking for an upset pick this week, Wyoming's sneaky. They played Utah close. I don't know how good Utah is, but I can confidently say they're better than the Colorado team we've watched so far this season. And so Wyoming's definitely a live dog.
Look, they're saying Colorado's a 13.5 point favorite. I would bet against that. I'm not even saying that if I can just pick that they won't win by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I pick that. Colorado has struggled. They're 1-2.
They're 1-2. their cupcake, they only won like 28-3. Like
Cool.
it wasn't even impressive.
We've already talked questions at quarterback.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know about this. This is going to be telling, and this is going to be really interesting if you're a BYU fan because you get them right after this.
Yes. And so, honestly, maybe it's better for BYU if Colorado wins this game and they're not they're not feeling the sting of defeat next week. But if I can see
If
things
Colorado
unraveling.
Goes to 1-3 though, that's crazy.
Yeah. Especially after last season and all the hype that's been around Colorado. And I feel like if they go 1-3 this year, then the roller coaster of Dion, it reached its peak last year.
It's starting to tick down.
It's starting to, and if they lose to Wyoming, it's really like it might have just been a blip,
Dude, I think
on the radar.
This is a must-win game for them.
Yeah.
Everyone has to know that. Maybe they show up. Maybe they reach in deep and show up because, man, yeah. And it'd be interesting if you're a BYU fan too that we talk about who's going to play quarterback and what does it look like when they play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This is it, man. We are finally in the bread and butter of college football season, especially if you're following the Big 12.
Yes.
Of games that matter. You're going to learn about Texas Tech. You're going to learn about Utah. You're going to learn about Arizona State and Baylor. You're going to learn about Colorado of what's going on there, dude. BYU, you're going to learn a little bit more about BYU.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see there. So, dude, it's a great week. It's great to see it. Craig, final thoughts, Craig? Final takeaways, predictions, inputs, stats. You're the man with all that.
What'd we get wrong?
Yeah, what fix us?
Well, I think you guys, I don't know if you guys missed anything. I was just going to point out in that Colorado game, Wyoming's offense, I think if they're able to score against Colorado, they have not been able to score. They beat Akron 10-0. So watch for that. If Colorado gives up points to Wyoming, then you got to be really excited as a BYU fan.
Okay.
That's true. That's
okay.
good.
So, yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be the best weekend of football for the Big 12. I mean, as you see, Fox's, which is basically owns the Big 10, has decided this week.
All Big 12.
Big 10, get out of here. It's time for some Big 12. So, like I said at the beginning, Big 12, it's a big week to show that we're the most entertaining conference in the country, and that every week you should tune in.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for it. And then, dude, I'm going to do my best to watch as much college football as humanly possible on Saturday. And we've got the games we talked about. But then I'm going to Colorado. And then I got the home games I'll be able to watch. But then I'm at Arizona and at these. I got to cherish this time because I'm not going to be able to just tune in on every college football game if I'm traveling to games and stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I mean, not to be a buzzkill, but you probably only have 60 more seasons as a BYU fan.
Think about that. Yeah.
You only have 60 more seasons. You only have bad at math.
That's I only have 5 natties left.
Yeah, exactly. You only have Kalani Sitake beating Utah 30 more times.
That's it. It's rough.
It's so sad.
Dude, you just made me a little sad inside. A little bit.
And then when Jay Hill, a Ute, takes over BYU in 10, 15 years, when Kalani's finally ready. And then, we just continue to step on the throat until they quit the Big 12 and go back to the Pac-12 and join their friends with Oregon State and Washington. Oh,
dude. It's going to be interesting in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
What happens with both those programs, BYU and Utah? I think they're on drastically different levels in an NIL standpoint.
Right.
I think Utah, I'm pretty sure it's this year.
Who's running Utah Connect? I mean,
please.
Or Ute Connect.
Please. Where are you at?
Yes.
And then this is probably it for Whittingham, right?
I mean,
I said that last year.
Yeah, I mean, we all thought so, and it probably would have been had we not drilled a field goal right through the goalposts.
It probably would have been, huh?
Thank you, Will Ferrin.
Will
Thank you.
Ferrin.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And you know what? And last year everyone was like, oh, Utah's going to come in. They're going to win the Big 12. Whittingham's going to go out on top. And I think Whittingham has this dream that he's going to go out on top again.
Yeah.
And guess what? If he loses to BYU, he's not going out on top, man.
Dude,
and he's just going to have to retire in sadness.
Dude, we talked about this with Jordan and Trey on about just how crazy the rivalry is.
Yeah.
Here's the realistically, if Kyle Whittingham wins 8 games and loses to BYU and gets just kind of a subpar bowl matchup and then gets to 9 wins, which is a solid year and it's very doable, I think, for them.
Yeah.
What is everyone going to talk about?
He didn't beat BYU.
He didn't beat BYU's last year.
Yeah.
His last, 3 matchups against BYU. He went out 0-3.
Yeah.
Lavelle went out on top. Because unfortunately for him, that's always going to be the comparison. The best coach at BYU, the best coach ever at Utah, and fans are going to compare.
Yeah.
And so if he can beat BYU and he can get to the playoffs, then he gets to go out on top.
Mm-hmm.
But if he loses to BYU and he doesn't get to the playoffs, and even if he does, people will be like, well, you just got lucky because whatever, BYU was actually better. People will say that, just like when they won the Pac-12. So, yeah, kind of pressure's on him in a lot of ways.
Yes.
I don't know.
And hopefully, and it's sort of been revealed. Hopefully we can get back to BYU and Utah in November.
Oh my gosh, dude. I think that happens after this year.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. I would be willing to wager that it goes back to Thanksgiving.
Yeah. We need that game on Thanksgiving. We need it,
We need the build up all year.
We need the build up all year. We need that game to mean everything because,
dude, also when a team is bad, when Utah or BYU is having a bad year and that game is up and the other team is doing well, that's a nice dynamic for that game too. It gives one of those teams a purpose.
Yes.
Whereas there's still a purpose now, but whoever wins BYU or Utah, obviously there's major bragging rights and implications, but probably the remainder of conference play lays before them. Both those teams probably leave there still controlling their own destiny for the most part.
Yeah, I think so. I think if BYU's, maybe they, young freshman quarterback, you never know. You can never truly know what's going to happen in every single game, but BYU should probably have one loss at worst.
At worst,
they'll be favored in probably every game they play until Utah.
Someone posted on Twitter that they're favored in every game for the rest of the season, as of right now, except TCU.
Okay, so they even have us favored against Utah.
I mean, it's barely. I think it's like a 51%, whatever. But as though it is right now, BYU is favored to win every game on the schedule except, I think, TCU.
Okay. So, yeah, BYU.
Maybe, actually, I think we are favored of TCU at home. I think it's Texas Tech. I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
On the road.
We're favored in every single game. And this was a week ago before we were on our bye week. Who knows what it is now. But at that point, someone was like, BYU's favored in every game except for at Texas Tech.
Yeah. And so BYU should be, BYU should have a great record going in. Utah, they have a much more difficult schedule before BYU, but
they get Texas Tech this week and they get ASU in a week or two, a couple weeks after that.
And I think they get TCU or Baylor as well shoved in there. So
wow.
So their meat of the schedule is in October, and BYU's kind of the end of their run through the contenders.
Yeah.
That's when BYU's is just beginning. BYU play Utah, Iowa State, and all
Texas Tech. If Arizona ends up being really good too, it will go Arizona, Utah, and then Tech, and then Iowa State, I think.
I think so.
That could be a tough 4-game stretch.
Yeah. And
really tough.
So Utah will be at the end of theirs. BYU will be at the beginning of theirs. Man, it's just fun. I'm excited. I'm juiced. Even though it's late, I'm still super hyped. I'm just dreaming for Saturday. I wake up on Monday thinking about Saturday. I wake up on Tuesday thinking about Saturday. I wake up on Wednesday thinking about Saturday.
Yeah.
And once Saturday morning hits, man, it's the best.
Yep. Well, I think that's it. Any other things, Craig?
I think we got it.
We got to always end with Craig's thoughts if there are good ones out there, But Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please hit the like and the subscribe. We've got tens of thousands of people every month watching this podcast. Only about 2,500-ish of you have become subscribers. It's a great, free, and easy way to support the guys and support what we do here to help them. If you don't really know what Coug Connect does, because I ran into a guy at a T-ball game last week who said, you guys have a great podcast. And I was like, have you been to our website? Have you been on our Discord? He's like, no, I've just seen you on YouTube. If you go to cougconnect.com, you can become a subscriber. It's $10 a month, or you can tier up to $40 or $100 a month. But at that, you are contributing to have players on like Trey, on Jordan, who are on this week, all the other players we've had on the past. All of that really, it's kind of like the Patreon, I guess, behind the YouTube channel is that cougconnect.com there. And, help us build something special for the players here. So that's all I got for you guys. Enjoy college football. Cherish it. If you've seen Billy Madison, cherish it. Right. And we will see you guys next week. That's all we got. Go Cougs.